They say a person's true strength is revealed not when life is kind, but when life rips everything apart and leaves you bleeding on the ground, with no one to help you. I used to believe strength came from people, friends, family, loved ones, the ones who promised to stand by me no matter what. I believed that loyalty was a simple thing, an unbreakable bond once someone gave you their word. But life showed me a truth far darker, far sharper. Sometimes the people you trust the most are the same ones who push you into the fire and walk away as if your screams mean nothing. My story isn't about betrayal alone. It's about destruction, rebirth, and the person I had to become when everyone I relied on decided I was disposable. It's about the night they left me to die, and how I returned stronger than any of them ever imagined. I wasn't always this person, the one people fear, the one they whisper about behind closed doors. I used to be simple, hopeful, naive. I believed kindness was enough to win hearts, that sincerity was enough to build relationships, that truth was enough to keep people loyal. My world was small but peaceful. I had a group of friends I trusted with my life, people I laughed with, worked with, dreamed with. We shared everything: late-night talks, wild plans, promises spoken with the certainty of youth. I believed in them so deeply that I never imagined, even for a moment, that one day they'd be the ones digging my grave. It started slowly, the way most betrayals begin. Small lies disguised as jokes, whispers exchanged behind my back, decisions made without including me. At first, I ignored it. I told myself I was overthinking, that maybe they were stressed or busy or distracted. After all, these were my friends, the people I had defended in their worst moments, the ones I had lifted up when life crushed them, the ones I trusted so blindly that I never even bothered to watch my own back. But people change, or maybe they were always like this, and I just never noticed. Success has a strange way of peeling the mask off people's faces, and when I finally achieved something worthy, something they hadn't managed, didn't celebrate with me, they envied me. Their pride couldn't handle my rise, and the jealousy that started as a whisper grew into a storm that eventually destroyed everything. The final blow came on a night I will never forget as long as I breathe. It was supposed to be a simple outing, a casual meet like old times. They told me they wanted to talk, that there were things they needed to clear up, that we should spend time together like before. I believed them. Why wouldn't I? Even after everything, even after the small signs, I still wanted to trust them. I still wanted to believe that people I once called brothers could not turn into monsters overnight. We drove out of the city, far from lights, far from noise, far from the world. I didn't question it. I didn't realize the danger until it was too late, until the doors locked, until the smiles disappeared, until the tone of their voices changed. They didn't even try to hide it. Their words were knives, sharp and cold. You think you're better than us now. You forgot who helped you. You left us behind. Now we'll leave you behind. I didn't even get to defend myself. My explanations meant nothing. Envy had eaten their hearts. They had already sentenced me long before I arrived. The attack wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It wasn't cinematic. It was quiet, calculated, brutal. Cold hands gripping my shirt, blows landing against my ribs, kicks slamming into my stomach, the world spinning, gravel cutting into my skin. the taste of blood filling my mouth. I remember the sky looking oddly peaceful while their fists rained down on me, as if the universe was indifferent to what was happening. I begged them to stop, not because I feared death, but because I couldn't believe the people I loved were doing this to me. My voice cracked, but they didn't listen. They didn't care. Maybe they never did. The last thing I heard before darkness swallowed me was someone saying, "He won't survive out here." And then footsteps, car doors slamming, an engine starting, fading into the night. They left me there, broken, bleeding, alone. The cold ground beneath my body felt like a grave. The silence around me felt like a verdict. Pain crawled through every bone, every nerve, every memory. I don't know how long I lay there, minutes, hours, maybe longer. Time loses meaning when death sits beside you, breathing quietly, waiting for you to give up. I almost did. I almost let go. I almost surrendered to the darkness, pressing heavily on my chest. After all, what was left for me? The people I trusted, the life I built had shattered. My heart felt like a useless organ that only caused more suffering. But somewhere deep inside me, something refused to die. Maybe it was pride, maybe anger, maybe a spark of survival that every human carries inside them. Something whispered, "Get up." It wasn't loud, it wasn't heroic, it was desperate, but it was enough. I forced myself to move. Every inch was agony. My hands shook uncontrollably as I dragged myself across the cold dirt. My legs refused to cooperate, but I didn't stop. I crawled through darkness, through pain, through despair. I don't remember how I reached the road or how long I waited before a passing driver finally stopped. All I remember is the relief of knowing I wasn't completely invisible to the world. The hospital became my battlefield. The doctors patched my broken ribs, stitched my wounds, treated the bruises that covered my body like a map of violence. But the physical injuries were the easy part. The real war happened inside me. My mind replayed the betrayal again and again, each time cutting deeper. Their faces haunted me, the same faces I once trusted. I tried explaining the truth, but the police needed evidence. They needed names, details, proof. I stayed silent, not because I wanted to protect them, but because revenge whispered a different plan in my ear, one that did not involve courtrooms, lawyers, or apologies. They wanted me gone. They wanted me erased. They wanted me dead so they could continue their lives without facing the guilt of leaving me behind. So I decided to return, to punish them, but to transform myself. The months that followed shaped me into someone unrecognizable. I rebuilt myself piece by piece. My body grew stronger, faster, harder. I trained relentlessly, fueled by the memory of lying helpless in that cold, lonely place. I worked day and night, learning skills I never bothered to explore before. I sharpened my mind, learned to control my emotions, studied human behavior, and understood the art of silence. Healing wasn't easy. Some nights, the pain returned with a vicious force. Some mornings, I woke up shaking from nightmares that felt too real. But every time I felt weak, I remembered their voices, their laughter, their cruelty, and the weakness turned into fire. I didn't seek revenge through violence. No, that would make me like them. I wanted something far more powerful. Success, growth, transformation. I wanted to rise so high that the very sight of me would remind them of the night they left me to die. I wanted them to regret underestimating me, to choke on the weight of their own choices. And that is exactly what happened. When I returned, I didn't enter quietly. I entered with a storm behind me. The people who once mocked me couldn't recognize the person I had become. Stronger, confident, unshakable. My presence alone unsettled them. Their guilt began eating at them before I even spoke a word. Rumors spread. Whispers followed me. They watched with fear, with confusion, with disbelief as I built the life they tried to destroy. Every step I took was a reminder that they failed. Every success was a message carved in bold letters. I survived. Eventually, they came to me, one by one, with forced smiles, with hollow apologies, with excuses disguised as explanations. They tried to convince me it was a mistake, that they didn't mean to go that far. But the truth is simple. People don't accidentally leave someone to die. I didn't forgive them. I didn't seek revenge either. I simply cut them out of my life completely. Without anger, without hatred, without a second thought. My silence was louder than any retaliation, and that silence destroyed them far more than anything else. My rise became their reminder. My strength became their punishment. My success became the burden they carried in their hearts every single day. They watched me thrive while they stayed stuck in the same bitter place where envy first poisoned them.